Alright, hello YouTube, how's it going? The last time we spoke about sleep, we were talking about exactly how sleep can affect pain. If you haven't checked it out, please have a look in the top right hand corner. I'll link a card to the video. You can catch yourself up there. But today we're going to be talking about the why. Why exactly does sleep affect pain? So as we touched on last time, there is clearly a strong relationship between pain and sleep. Sleep disruption and insomnia increases both the likelihood and the severity of clinical pain, but it is not entirely clear why this is the case. So, as with all things scientific, there are several proposed mechanisms and theories as to why sleep affects pain, but we're not entirely sure how much or how well they weigh against one another. So they may all contribute to some degree, with some having more of an impact than others. Modern pain science dictates that pain is incredibly multifactorial and complex. How sleep affects us and what affects our sleep is also incredibly multifactorial and complex. Much of what we know now mechanistically is still very much up to speculation and case by case dependent. So it's very difficult to fit all of that into one short video composed of 10 slides. So take this video as you will. Number one is the idea that sleep impairments directly increase pain by exacerbating conditions that cause pain. So basically, sleep impairments can cause immunological changes and inflammatory reactions or changes within the body over a long-term period, which will then in turn cause a reduced potential for recovery and healing, and thereby causing muscle and joint soreness. Very easy to understand. This, in combination with things like an increased cortisol level, increased levels of fatigue, increased likelihood of developing comorbidities, makes it quite obvious as to why sleep deficits can affect pain, the bio part of the biopsychosocial model. We all know that insomnia has a direct effect on your well-being, and if chronic sleep impairments cause deleterious effects to your well-being, it is very likely that it will cascade to other things, other issues like pain. Number two, and this one is a little bit more complex. Sleep impairments directly affect pain processing by sensitizing peripheral nociceptors or by affecting central inhibitory and facilitating mechanisms, causing a state of generalized hyperalgesia. Hyperalgesia is basically an increased sensitivity to pain. For example, sleep impairments can cause a heightened brain excitability and neuronal changes. This will lead to a decreased descending pain inhibition, which can cause central sensitization and pain. So let me break this down. As I stated earlier in the video, much of our perception of pain comes down to our brain's ability to process pain. Pain is incredibly multifactorial and is not always related to tissue damage. Put simply, much of our perception of pain comes down to how it is processed by the central nervous system. Sleep impairments can affect pain by creating an increased sensitivity to noxious stimuli or painful stimuli. When we are sleep deprived, neuronal changes can occur. Changes to the way the neurons and the cells in the brain react to our environment. This increased sensitivity to the central nervous system is called central sensitization, and this is a common culprit when it comes to our modern understanding of pain. Lastly, when I say there is a decreased pain inhibition, this is what I mean. Pain is often processed through a pathway, a neuronal pathway that descends from the preaqueductal gray within the brain through to the midbrain down into the spinal cord. It goes down a tract. A bunch of complicated mechanisms help to inhibit pain through this pathway, through things like endogenous opiates and cannabinoids, neurotransmitters, blah, blah, blah. And when you're sleep deprived, this descending pain inhibition is decreased. So what happens when you have a decreased inhibition of pain? You're obviously going to be more sensitive and more likely to feel pain. A theory may be that areas in the brain such as the preaqueductal gray and the raphe nuclei both are involved in the descending pain control system nociception, and modulation of sleep. Therefore, neurotransmitter alterations in these areas due to sleep impairments could cause a decrease in the effect of the descending pain inhibitory control. This can explain why sleep impairments are often seen within those with chronic pain. That was a mouthful, so let's move on to the third point. Lastly, sleep impairments can cause pain through the moderation or mediation of mood issues, anxiety, withdrawal, basically leading down to depression. For example, sleep impairments can cause a reduced positive effect or an increased negative effect. When I say the word effect, I'm talking about the definition of effect in terms of the psychological sense. So effect means the experience of feeling or emotion. So sleep impairments can cause a reduced positive emotion or feeling or an increased negative emotion or feeling. Basically, this will lead to mood issues, withdrawal, anxiety, and depressive symptoms, which have been incredibly correlated with pain. Depressive symptoms have been very closely correlated with poor pain outcomes, and sleep impairments have been shown to have a moderating and/or a mediation role for affect or mood and emotion, and thereby affecting your pain. All right, that's the end of it. When it came to researching this topic, because I know it's a little bit of a nerdy one, it's a little bit complicated, but the three most common topics that kind of popped up when I was looking at the literature were these three. So I just thought that, I'd put it out there for those who are interested. Number one, sleep can directly affect pain through a bunch of different kind of physiological systems within the body itself, immunological and inflammatory changes that can cause soreness. Number two, sleep impairments can cause an increase of central sensitization within the brain and therefore cause pain. Number three, sleep impairments can directly affect and increase depressive symptoms, and depressive symptoms are correlated with pain outcomes. That's it. Let me know your thoughts, questions, comments, critiques, or recommendations, guys. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.